All right, topic that has come up, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. I get people who are like, "Man, you've gotten so much leaner. You've done more and more physique stuff. Having been a slightly heavier power lifter with no cuts at all." And they make those statements, and it's like, "How did you do it? Was it hard?" And quite frankly, no, no, it was no harder than eating to get bigger. And I want to be clear on that. And I have historically said, "Oh, dieting to get leaner is hard. It sucks. That's one of the reasons I don't do it. I don't want to lose strength. Blah blah blah." All right, I used to always say that. I used to give that cope, and I think that's legitimately a cope by people when they say, "Oh, the training is easy, but the diet's hard." Yeah, if you're going to get contest ripped, maybe. You just need to be lean enough to see some cuts up your quads and hamstrings and see some ab, even if you've been heavier. No, it really isn't. And the funny thing is, I said years ago that losing the 100 pounds was the hardest thing I ever did. When I was a really fat guy and then got into lifting and then later into the powerlifting and strength sports. I said that. But this hasn't been hard. Like that was pretty hard. But you know why? Because we don't know how to do it. And in other words, if you've never had a good, healthy lifestyle and you need to lose an enormous amount of weight, it is a monumental undertaking because you're coming from it not only as a place there's a lot of work, literally. I mean, 100 pounds of body fat, it's 3,500 calories in every pound of that fat that you have to burn through somehow. Hey, that's a lot. That's a lot. You got to burn through that. You got to burn through that fuel. That is literally a lot of work. Quite literally, not a figure of speech. Mathematically, that is a lot of work. So, yeah, sure. But we're also coming from it from a place of no knowledge, because if you've never lost 50 pounds or 100 pounds before, you have no clue how to efficiently do so. I've done so a couple times. And the second time was easier because remember, I got sick, spent a year in bed, got depressed, gained a bunch of weight, got back up to 300 pounds, couldn't train. It was way easier. It was twice as easy. Well, now when I've done this and done some actual cutting, stripped off 20 pounds of fluff or so here, so I think I've probably dropped 20 pounds of fat over an extended period of time. It hasn't been difficult, and here's why: because I already have the habits. I already know how to eat. I know how to eat clean. I know how to have satiety, and the thing I've done recently is just added new stuff to that. Which means, fasted cardio, fasted walking, fasted training. It's been what I've done to get the last few pounds off and continuing to get leaner. But here's the kicker. I have a lot of muscle. Right? And this is why it matters. This is why I tell people strength training and lifting will make weight loss so much easier. If you put 10 or 15 pounds of muscle on versus what you have now, your cutting is night and day. You just burn through so much more when you do any activity. Okay? Plus our training itself, you burn through calories lifting. When you have muscle, it makes this process so much easier. That's why people are like, "I don't want to gain a bunch of..." Well, it makes staying lean easier. It makes dieting easier because you can eat so much more food. I probably eat an extra 1,000 calories a day. Have to, just to sustain my muscle tissue. That also means an extra 1,000 or 1,500 calories a day to lose weight versus when I was younger and starting out. That's a game changer. I mean, that alone. I mean, how many people out there are like, "Man, dieting's kind of tough." I'm like, what if you could eat another 1,000 calories and still lose weight at the same rate? They're like, "Oh, that would be easy." Exactly. Well, what about if you know how to eat? What if you understand satiety? What if everything you eat is clean? What if you're so used to eating pretty clean most of the time that you don't really crave junk? You don't really crave junk food. You're like, it's kind of nice, but my goals are a little more important. And it's not even about then the discipline, because that discipline just comes from the habit of I'm used to it anyways. Hey, when you're used to it and it becomes your normal, it's just less difficult. But I know how to eat for satiety. I just eat all whole foods. I eat a lot of protein. I eat a lot of fiber. I stay fuller. I can say at this moment, even still continuing to slowly lean out, I don't really get hungry. The only time I sometimes get hungry is when my feed window is there and I'm getting close to time to eat breakfast. That's about it. Once I've started eating, I'm good. I stay full all the time. I make myself eat through my feed window, and I go to bed extremely full. Why? Because I eat whole foods. Okay? I eat whole foods. Everything I eat is either high in fiber or high in protein. Every single last thing that goes in my mouth, one of the two. Satiety's high. My activity's high. And I'd go so far as to say that for most of you, if you just ate all whole foods and did your training fasted like I do, you would probably lose body fat with no effort. No effort at all, no tracking. You probably wouldn't even need to. I'm kind of easing into where I don't even bother to track. I just guesstimate and continue to get leaner. It only really becomes important. People run these really low calorie diets when they need to lose fast, or they're making that last bit for stepping on a bodybuilding stage. That's about it. And again, if you do it like I'm doing it, you just eat whole foods, you train fasted, keep the protein, fiber high, you probably don't even need to track. You'll probably just lose body fat. You'll probably lose it. I don't even have to really worry about it anymore. Hey, honestly, for me, it's just, I better make sure I get more food in so that I don't lose too quickly. I need to keep my muscle and strength. That's about it. Just estimate. And it works, and it hasn't been difficult. Like, again, I want to be clear. This more recent transformation, which is still in process, still improving, it hasn't been that hard. It really hasn't. So when people try to make that claim that it is, it's like, I don't know about that. Right? I don't think that it is. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.